This is always an interesting, you never know. We've had, what, 6 or 7 town hall meetings. We've had 6 or 7 telephonic town hall meetings. You just never know how many people are going to show up in the level one. It's an honor. It really is an honor. You look at you see the folks that have come here. I have to recognize my wife again. Mary, will you stand up? Here you get it. Nothing I've ever been able to accomplish is done without my wife at my side. And we don't spend as much time together as I'd like, but we're struggling with that a little bit, is she being in Washington, or she being here and I being in Washington. But we've made a determination so far, knock on wood, we've been able to, I come home every weekend. I see so many of the people in Congress that are staying there, so they just don't want the trip. But it's at the 4.5, 5-hour trip, when you get back that valley and you come into West Virginia, you see that sign, you just know you're home. They mentioned the age business now, Andy, that your mayor. Well, let me just tell you, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm the oldest member of the freshman class in Washington. They wanted us to wear a beanie like in college. But I'm really honored with that because what it's done is I was able to bring 45 years of small business experience to the arena. And I found out there's so many folks in Washington that when we were campaigning, we thought they had more experience than they don't. And it is a challenge every day when we get to talking about some of the issues, whether they're corporations or C corps or S corps, or whether tax structures, people that have never had business, they don't understand it. We hear people all the time going down the well doing speeches, talking about we need to create jobs, but they don't have the slightest idea how to create a job. It's easy for people to talk about jobs, and creating them and creating the environment is very important. But that just goes to back to some of the initial things I want to talk about, because I got out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone was being here. My son's in the way. David, how about you stand up too? This is my oldest son. That's my family. All 4 children, 6 grandchildren. That's what juiced me. That's what made me what I wanted to be, was to have a family around us as close as we could. We had to get out of our comfort zone. And last year, we felt threatened. I felt threatened. I don't know about the rest of you, but I was very concerned in the direction our country was going. I thought the things that we were getting away from our Constitution, the challenges and taxes, the issues, the lack of jobs. So I got out of my comfort zone. 16 years I've been out of politics. I was as cynical as the rest of you. But I'm glad I got back into it. I'm glad I got the opportunity to represent you and the other 19 counties around West Virginia. Because we've learned from it. And we go back every weekend and we talk to them. We hear what's on your mind. And we're making sure now that your voice is being heard in Washington. But one of the things that we talked about during the campaign was coal mining. And understanding that in West Virginia, 50% of the revenue to run the state of West Virginia, think about it, 50% of the revenue to run the state of West Virginia comes from one industry, coal. I was a ranking Republican in the legislature back in the 80s and early 90s. So I saw what we were doing, how important coal is. But then when I went to Washington, I found the opposite. They have no respect for coal in Washington. They'll say, you've heard the Senate president, or we're going to talk about the majority leader, we're going to talk about how coal makes him sick. I went, then turn off your lights, because there's a good chance, 50% chance, that the power that's generating all the lights and air conditioning in Washington comes from coal. And we generate our power in West Virginia, 99% of it comes from coal. So I became concerned. The more I kept listening to the debate in Washington, when you hear the people go on the floor and talk about this bad, toxic coal, bad, what it does to their health, folks, it's jobs. It's jobs. And this picture, someone gave me this picture. His name is Thorny Lieberman. And I think it's a representation of what a coal miner in West Virginia is. He's from northern West Virginia. His name's James Brandon, and his daughter Kaylee, 11 years old. What I have this picture with me because it's on my wall in the Capitol. I want everybody, when they come in my office, to see West Virginia, and they see a coal miner, and show the respect. Because that's what we do. We mine coal and we burn coal and we power this country. And I'm proud of it. But I saw the administration and the threats they have to it. So I got this picture. When Thorny gave me it, we put it up. It's a wonderful statement. When anyone walks in the office, they first have to hear the lecture about mining. And I'm good at lecturing. My kids will tell you that. But I want them to understand. One time I was in, 2 months ago, I was in a tunnel. We were 1,000 feet underground. And it had a 15, 16-foot clearance on it. Someone said, that must remind you of a coal mine. I said, folks, you don't know coal. You don't find 15, 16-foot clearance. This is a man that sometimes in a 42-inch coal seam works on his hands and knees. Think about that. Every day, not just one day, he goes back the next day and the day after that to crawl on his hands and knees so that we have coal and we can fire our powerhouses and we can have electricity and we can have low-cost power in America. That's a guy. That's one of my heroes, this guy right here. And I want to continue to speak out for him. I want to make sure that when he goes to work, at the end of the day, his family knows he's going to come home. And it breaks my heart whenever I hear one of the mines, there's been someone, like at Upper Big Branch, where we lost 29 miners there. That hurts, because it represents the fabric of West Virginia, who these people are. So that's what we're trying to do. One of the missions is to protect coal. And maybe we can get into some of the details of what we're talking about, this threat that's up against it with coal. What we got also is the spending and the jobs. I'm frustrated. I thought that when we voted for this raising the debt ceiling, that we had a deal that we weren't going to see the loss of our bond rating. But that deal wasn't held up, and I'm very angry about that. Because if that had been the case, maybe we should have voted otherwise. But we got to understand that 2 of the 3 of them, Moody and Fitch, did flinch. They did what they said they were going to do. You make those cuts, and you make a long-term commitment for savings, we'll be with you. And they did. They held out. But I'm trying to make sure people understand the magnitude of our debt and why we keep talking about how we have to make the spending cuts. If you look at our deficit every year in Congress, now, again, here I act like I've been there for a year and a half or 3 years. I've been there 7 months. But I'm a quick learner. And it concerns me when I see in those 7 months that we have $1.6 trillion in deficit this year. And we have $1.5 trillion next year. And we had